I know Representative Gary Click, one of really the best in the country, of course in the state of Ohio, but across the nation. And yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to have Representative Click and Klopfenstein for sponsor testimony.
But there's no more local control than Bob and Betty Buckeye.
Well, that explains why he keeps saying, well, that's not the way Representative Click does it.
I'm not supposed to get emotional, but I am.
Then we sat down with Click to discuss his bill and the controversy surrounding it.
And the chair would like to invite Representative Click to present testimony.
The question is, shall the bill pass? The chair recognizes Representative Click.
Representative Click, you recently sat down with Greg Edinger of Vanguard Sentinel for the inaugural episode of your podcast. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, thank you, Janae. Greg reached out to me about a very successful program, a dropout recovery program that he instituted at Vanguard Sentinel Career and Technical Centers.
That's awesome. So is this in Sandusky or Seneca County?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. So actually, Vanguard is in Sandusky and Sentinel is in Seneca counties.
Okay, so it's two vocational schools under one umbrella. Is that correct?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and I know that you drafted a bill. What's it called? Where is it going? What's the action that's happening with this bill so far?
Well, the program is actually called Aim Higher.
Okay, that's awesome and very appropriate.
It really is. And we put out a co-sponsor request for that bill, but we were also working on the budget at the same time. So as it turns out, we were able to get that bill into the budget, and so we didn't have to pass that as a standalone bill. We got it through in the budget for $750,000 for Vanguard and Sentinel to do a pilot program for Aim Higher.
That sounds amazing. So let's share that conversation with our listeners and viewers. Then we can catch up with them again when it's done.
And hi, I am back here with Greg Edinger. Greg is the superintendent at Vanguard Sentinel Career Technology Center, and we're glad to have you with us today, Greg.
Yes, thank you, Representative Click. I really appreciate the invite and looking forward to the conversation.
Great. So just tell us a little bit about how long you've been at Vanguard Sentinel and what you do there, and just give us a little background on yourself first.
Sure. Well, again, appreciate being here. I'm Greg Edinger, superintendent at Vanguard Sentinel. So I've been here, I'm starting my 18th year with the district. So I have some extensive knowledge with the district, without a doubt, and have seen some immense growth over the years. We obviously have a center here in Fremont, and then we have one in Tiffin. And then we're actually building some regional centers in Ottawa County, Fostoria, and then the big one that we'll be talking about here probably today with our Aim Higher in Tiffin as well. But my background, I came from business and industry before I came in education. So worked quite a few years for different manufacturing companies, and I was in the military for 4 years as well. And then just decided to get an education, and I started in the adult education world first at Ehovie, and just kind of built myself up, and was principal there for a few years before I got this role here at Vanguard Sentinel now 18 years ago, which is crazy to think about.
Well, thank you for all the great work that you're doing. Now, how many counties do you affect with Vanguard Sentinel?
So we have some outliers in there, but really 4 main counties. They're Ottawa County, Sandusky County, Seneca County, and Wyandotte County.
Okay, very good. And last year, you reached out to me to have a conversation, and you wanted to talk to me about Aim Higher. So tell me what Aim Higher does.
So Aim Higher was an initiative we started just a few years ago in Fremont, and it was geared toward at-risk students. You know, we have a lot of students that are applying. Our growth here at Vanguard Sentinel is up like 43%. So getting kids involved in career tech is one thing we want to do, but the at-risk students, you know, half your day is electives with career tech. So if you're credit deficient, it's hard to find time in your schedule to do. And then a lot of kids were leaving the home schools, going to maybe a community school or alternative option for them to try to make up their credits, and maybe coming back to the home school because they weren't being successful. So what do you do with the students? You know, we have pretty good graduation rates here in our county schools. I mean, about 97%. But when you put that still leaves probably in a 4-year span, about 150 to 300 students that aren't graduating high school. And that doesn't count the students going to a alternative education site as a community school or another alternative. So our goal was to reach those kids and actually not just get them to graduate, but bring career tech to a whole nother population of students that if you're lucky enough to graduate high school and put that hard work in, then they're not graduating with any skill. So we want to bring both. So our goal was to reach these at-risk students, catch them before they fall through the cracks, and catch them in that 9th, 10th, 11th grade year, get them their academics, and then get them their 12-point credential as well. So they're both prepared for that as well. So we
That's
started,
great.
well, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's great. So if I remember correctly, you started with 10 students, and then you built up to how many students going through this dropout recovery program?
Yeah. So we started in the Fremont location first year, and it's kind of evolved over the years of the delivery model. But yeah, basically we started with about 10 students, and then we've grown to close to 200 students now in that program. The last couple of years, like 90 students have graduated each year, and 100% of those seniors graduated high school, and 100% of them got a 12-point credential. So we're really proud of those results of getting students, and they made up over 600 credits that they were deficient on their way to
Okay,
graduation.
can you say
So
that
not only
again?
earned the
How many
credits,
credits? How many credits?
over 600
600?
credits. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So those students are
And so how
obviously
many
are
seniors? Was that 90? I think
90.
93.
Yeah, 90 students actually graduated, and 100% of that was the graduating class. So we say 200 students, that's 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So of that, 90 students were seniors, and 100% of them graduated and got the 12-point credential. So then the goal was, could we take that and expand? We came to you with Aim Higher. Here's the success of working with at-risk that we think far surpasses other delivery models with at-risk students, and let's expand that to our southern counties of Seneca and Wyandotte County to reach those at-risk students as well.
Now, when you compare what you're doing with others, what is considered, what kind of a graduation rate is considered to exceed the standards and gets rewarded for their success? What is the typical?
Yeah, so the typical, and I don't understand all the standards of how they comprise the statistics, but if you pull an at-risk report card, state report card of any at-risk or dropout recovery school is they're coded at the state level, you can look on there at between a 35% and 50% graduation rate, which is about average, and that'll show exceeding standards. With that, where we're, like I said, at 100% graduation rate, we would not be exceeding standards if we were at 50%. So when you put that, I guess, into the mix of basically in our area, 35 to 60 kids each year that won't graduate. That doesn't include the 50 to 60% that chose an alternative method that aren't graduating either. And we'd like to kind of develop this career tech dropout recovery model that isn't just putting kids online or meeting 1 or 2 days a week. They're both in person. They have a project-based learning or blended learning more model that they are working online on their academics, but they also have a teacher working with them every day, and not just often or a couple times a week or a month. And then they have the full half of the other day is career tech, and that's not online either. That's really replicating our success in our full schools and then taking career tech at the dropout recovery school as well. So
Very
it's
good.
going
So
real well.
that's excellent. So have you been able, so I mean, just the graduation, that's a success by itself. Have you been able to track any of these kids post-graduation to see them, placed in jobs and careers?
So we do. So with our full 3-year programs, the students now at Vanguard Sentinel as a whole can come out now as a freshman through a senior. And if they do come out at least for 2 years, we're required by state law to do follow-up on a student at least 1 year after graduation. And that shows on our state report card. With the dropout recovery piece, we're not required to do that, but we are now starting to follow those students. So these 2025 graduates, we will do a 1 year follow-up now that we're really kind of full up and running, and we will have those statistics of what they're doing. We do know many of them are placed in that 12-point credential that we have or that they're earning, but we don't have complete statistics of what they're doing after graduation. But we will start to incorporate that into this new model with the aim higher. So that'll include the follow-up, it'll include wraparound services, it'll include any support systems that students need to ensure their success.
That's terrific. And so, as we add in and as we follow through with the money that was placed in the budget for the AIM Hire program, how do you see that expanding and really refining what you're doing and then expanding that to all of Ohio potentially?
So there's a couple things. So the first thing that we're really excited about this, and with your support, I think the first model that could come out of this is the funding will only follow to us if success is there. So this is a performance-based funding system where if students are earning their credit, we will get the funding. If they don't earn their credit, we will not get that funding that's in the bill. The 12-point
So let me
credential.
just stop there and emphasize that. So this isn't just giving you money and finances for what may happen or for what could happen. This is actually rewarding success. And so if
Yes.
you don't succeed, if the students don't earn their credentials, you get how much?
We will not. We'll get our per pupil funding, but we will not get any kind of performance funding on top of that. So we'll get. So there's $750,000 that were allocated in the same higher bill. We'll get $250,000 of that for just to help with startup costs because we're opening a
Right.
brand new school. We're taking over a previous existing dropout recovery school. So there's startup costs with that, with building in career tech, equipment costs, and renovation of building. Then the $500,000 of that $750 is all performance. So if we're
Okay.
not successful, we'll get $0 of that $500,000.
So you're going to get paid by credits earned, essentially. Is that correct?
Yeah, credit deficient. So if a student comes to us, their senior year and they're whole year behind grade level, so they have to make up 10 credits, we would get paid based on that 10 credits that they earn, and then we'll earn dollars toward if they get their 12-point credential as well. So there's kind of two phases to that: their academic and their career tech. So again, if they're not walking out with that 12-point credential, we're not going to see those dollars. And that's what I'm really, really excited about of a model to show, success. We're working hard to ensure that the students are. And then if you just compare results and put everybody on an equal playing field, I think success should be rewarded and just buy into the whole performance piece anyway.
Right. Performance pay is a part of that for you as an institution. And I think that makes sense. And so if you don't perform, you really are not going to be rewarded for it because there's no
Right.
reward in the startup costs.
No, that's just to get up and going. So that's one-time dollars for the startup. You never get those dollars again.
But you are confident that you're going to have the success because you already have a track record.
We have a track record and I think a proven model of the career tech delivery model that we can succeed and help these students. So and I do believe if we're not successful, then we shouldn't earn the dollars. So we're going to work hard to ensure the students are successful, and those dollars aren't just for being Vanguard Sentinel rewarded. Obviously, then those are dollars that will go back to students in the future to continue to educate them as well.
Well, that's terrific. And I understand that there's been a lot of other schools who kind of been looking to you for some leadership in this. And if this pilot program is successful for us, then that kind of shows that there's a lot of potential for that to expand to the rest of the state, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the career tech world, because this isn't just a online or doing a 12-point credential that student logs into a computer and gets. I mean, it's true hands-on experience. In 1 year, they walk away with 450 hours of hands-on experience in that career tech lab if they're in there for 1 year. So they have the experience and the knowledge to translate that into the workforce. And be successful, because if we don't get these students early, as you know, I mean, just you can follow statistics in Ohio, anywhere, that if they don't graduate on time, the years just keep kind of catching up before they just say, okay, I'll just forget about it. I'm not gonna worry about my education.
So first of all, I see this as an impact on individuals. Everything breaks down to the individual person. And when we are helping these young students to succeed, and especially these at-risk students, if they don't succeed, number one, it's just bad for them personally. But and not only is it bad for them, but then there's a higher dependency rate upon the state of Ohio and upon the state's resources. But when they succeed in school and when they come out with some skills and come out career ready, how does that benefit Ohio overall?
Well, geez, I just think it benefits one. You're not going to be on any kind of whatever you want to call it, any kind of system in the state, right? That you have to
Right.
provide dollars to support unemployment or whatever that may be. And then it just helps the area. We continue to talk in our business advisories about shortage of workforce and skill labor. Here, just another pool of kids. If there's 150 kids additionally graduating every year with uh, a credential and hands-on experience, that's just going to help the workforce in the area
Mhm.
meet their needs as well. And then there's so many different models. I think that the state is funding with at-risk kids. There's CBI programs. There's the dropout recovery. There's different kind of models, but that's where I do think ours has taken the proven successful career tech pathways that we already have and infusing that into a dropout recovery without, I guess, adapting or lowering the standards, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping the standards high and making sure that they're meeting the same expectations. And I think students step up to that. When you lower the standard, they're going to meet the lower standard. If you keep the standards high, they just need extra supports. And I think that's just where our results driven model here, saying that we know we can help the students succeed. So we will do this results based funding formula that could be used in the future, and then taking the leadership from career tech schools to get into the dropout recovery expansion, and not CBI programs, but a true dropout recovery school infused into the career tech model, I think is what we're aiming at. And kids will just benefit, and so will the state of Ohio.
And I think is really key. One of the things that you're doing is how you're just, incorporating your model, because not all kids are book learners. Kids just learn differently. Everybody learns differently. And
Right.
what you're doing is incorporating a little bit more of a hands-on approach to education. Is that right?
Absolutely. And I think, the day that we're born, when we're crawling as babies, that's how we learn. We touch, we feel. And it's the same thing. You're right. Everybody's not a book learner, but everybody, when you see something and can touch them and feel it, that piques everybody's interest. And they latch onto that, and they keep learning because they know they can do it, and they see an end result versus just a paper test. They see a product at the end of it.
Right. Well, I'm just thoroughly impressed with the success that you've had in this so far, which is why I went ahead and took that step to work with you to incorporate this into the budget, and look forward to what's going to happen from there. But we're just about out of time here. But before we go, I was just at a ribbon cutting at a new facility for you, and describe that for us. Tell us what's going on there.
Sure. So that's just part of our expansion. So as we talked about the aim higher, I guess I should expand on that just real quick. So that's sitting out on Market Street in Tiffin. So that was a formerly North Central Academy. We took over that community school and turned it into our new aim higher school there. And then we also were very fortunate to get a career tech expansion grant a couple years ago to expand our facilities and offer more programming. And yes, the ribbon cutting we had over 100 people there, yourself included. The support from the community was just great to see. And that's going to offer some new programs in the area as well. So it'll be a new HVAC program. There'll be a new fire EMT program. And then we remodeled the inside to expand our health programs and our cosmetology programs, which continue to grow as well. And then part of our aim higher with a construction lab will be out in the Sentinel facility as well.
Okay, one last thing. So if anyone is interested in any of your programs, it doesn't have to be the Aim Higher program, but any of the programs that you have, what's the best way for them to find out what the options are? What's the best way for them to get in touch with you and get enrolled?
Yeah, you can just go right to our website, vsctc.org, and you'll see everything on there. All contact, all of our phone numbers are on there, email addresses, and a list of all the programs from aim higher to 1, 2, 3, 4-year program options are all on that website. That'd be the easiest way to start.
And give us that website one more time.
VSCTC.
All right, very good. Well, Greg, thank you, first of all, for everything that you're doing to help our young people and to help our communities here in the 88th District. That's Seneca and Sandusky counties. And thank you for joining me on the premiere or the initial podcast here for our district here. And I'm looking forward to greater things, but I appreciate you joining me today.
Well, thank you, Representative Click. Appreciate being a guest, and as always, appreciate your support, not just for Career Tech, but for everything you do for our district.
All right. Well, God bless you. You have a great day.
All right. Take care.
I'm excited to see where that program goes. I think it has potential to change so many outcomes for young people.
I do too, and Greg's the perfect person to lead the way.
Absolutely. So what happens after the pilot program?
Well, if it's successful, as we think it's going to be, then the legislature can come back and make an appropriation to expand the program across the state to help young people everywhere.
That's incredible. I think one of the things that is so appealing about this program is the funding follows success.
It does. Other than the startup cost, the school's only rewarded for their achievements and rewarded for the credits that these young people have earned.
Now, I understand that you've already interviewed someone for our second episode. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. State Representative Brian Lorenz is a good friend of mine, and he and I worked together on a bill that's going to make a huge difference for folks with special needs in Ohio.
That's interesting. Is that Keith's Law?
It is.
Okay.
That's House Bill 144, and it just creates a voluntary special needs database that's going to provide valuable information to our first responders in a time of crisis, and that's a time when it can be very critical for everyone involved.
That's awesome. I think we have a clip from that interview. Can we share that and give the people a taste of what our next episode is?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Many of them have had CIT, which is critical incident training. And so now they can employ those skills when they deal with this person. And I think it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, a lot of these folks have, as you mentioned, a fear or anxiety, which drives a different behavior. And then when we deal with folks that are nonverbal, a lot of them have a flight or fight response. And so if you're an officer responding to a situation that wouldn't be a domestic violence situation, but, you know, a situation where you need to be there and help out, understanding what you're walking into is, I mean, it's simple. It's knowledge is power. And then to your point, yes, here in Delaware County, we have this, but to have consistency across the state is super important. And there's no cost to what we're trying to advocate and implement here as well. So there's nothing but positivity that will come from this bill.
You've been listening to What's Clickin', the official podcast of State Representative Gary Click, covering Ohio's 88th House District. That includes Seneca and Sandusky counties in Northwest Ohio. I'm Janae Myers, his legislative aide. If you would like to reach out to us, you can send us an email at rep88, that's REP88, at ohiohouse.gov, or you can give us a call at 614-466-1374. Thanks again for joining us for What's Clickin' with State Representative Gary Click. We'll be back again soon to let you know what's clickin' in